Hello everyone, I'm Duarte and today I'm going to talk about the effect of dietary supplementation with Xylanase and probiotic on growth performance and gut health of newly weaned pigs challenged with enterotoxigenic E. coli. As we know, pigs face different challenges at weaning that can increase their susceptibility to enteric disease, with E. coli as the main cause of post-weaning diarrhea in pigs. Additionally, the ban of the use of antimicrobial as growth promoter increase the challenge to the producers in the swine industry. The nutritional challenge can be related to the anti-nutritional content in the diet, such as fiber content, that can increase digestive viscosity, reduce nutrient digestibility and growth performance, affect the gut-associated microbiota, and cause inflammation and oxidative stress in the gut mucosa. Xylanase has been used in the swine industry to reduce the deleterious effect of soluble fiber in the diet of pigs, releasing oligosaccharides that can feed beneficial bacteria in the intestine. Probiotic has also been used in the swine industry due to their antimicrobial mechanism, competitive exclusion of pathogens, enzyme activity, modulation of the immune response, and their ability to utilize different carbohydrate sources. Therefore, this study was to evaluate the supplemental effect of Xylanase and probiotic as a symbiotic on growth performance and gut health of newly weaned pigs challenged with E. coli F18. In this study, 64 newly weaned pigs, 32 barrels and 32 kids with 7.9 kilograms of body weight were randomly allotted in a 2x2 factorial arrangement with E. coli and symbiotic as effectors. The experimental diets were fed to the pigs for 20 days based on two phases, phase 1 for 10 days and phase 2 for 10 days. Here's the composition of experimental diet. The diet was mainly composed by corn, soybean meal, and corn DDGs. The E. coli F18 challenge was orally inoculated on day 7, divided in 2 doses. The body weight and feed intake were measured on days 0, 7, 10, and 20. The fecal score were measured every odd day. On day 20, 48 pigs were euthanized to collect jejunal sample for further analysis. The measurements were the growth performance, immune status, the oxidative stress status, the gut histomorphology and enterocyte proliferation, and the mucosa-associated microbiota. All data were analyzed using the PROC mixture of SAS, with the p-value lower than 0.05 was considered as significant, and the p-value between 0.05 and 0.1 was considered as a tendency. Moving on to the results, in the pre-challenge period, the symbiotic increased the ADG of pigs, whereas in the post-challenge period, the E. coli F18 challenge reduced the ADG. When we analyze the data by dietary phase, the challenge reduced the ADG, whereas the symbiotic increased it. In the phase 2 and overall, the challenge reduced the ADG of the pigs. The ADFI of pigs was not affected by the factors in the pre-challenge and post-challenge period. However, when we analyze the data by dietary phase, in phase 1, the symbiotic tended to increase the ADFI of pigs. The symbiotic tended to increase the feed efficiency in the pre-challenge period, whereas the challenge reduced it in the post-challenge period. When we analyze the data by phase, the challenge reduced the feed efficiency of pigs, whereas the symbiotic tended to increase it in phase 1. In phase 2 and overall, the challenge reduced the feed efficiency of pigs challenged with E. coli F18. The E. coli F18 challenge increased the fecal score of pigs after inoculation on day 7 to day 13, whereas the symbiotic reduced the fecal score of challenged pigs on day 9 and day 11. The concentration of TNF-alpha in the mucosa of pigs tended to be reduced by the symbiotic, and the concentration of IL-6 increased by the challenge, whereas the symbiotic tended to reduce it. The challenge increased the concentration of MDA in the mucosa of pigs, whereas the symbiotic tended to reduce the concentration of protein carbonyl in the mucosa of pigs challenged with E. coli. The challenge tended to increase the relative abundance of Helicobacteriaceae and tended to reduce the relative abundance of Prevotelaceae and Clostridiaceae, and reduce the relative abundance of Veillonellacea. In conclusion, the enterotoxigenic challenge reduced the growth performance by affecting the microbiota, immune response, and oxidative stress in jejunum. The symbiotic enhanced the growth performance by reducing the diarrhea, immune response, and oxidative stress in jejunum. Thank you.